the wallets. But I was watching your video just last night with
yeah,
the kid from Bali, and I think I'm running into his problem where I'm not seasoning the wallets.
Yeah. So when the interesting thing about Vortex, and I have Vortex actually, the CEO, the actual dev in my private Discord, and if you have any questions, of course, you can ask directly. But from my understanding, that's supposed to be done once you fund the wallets automatically, from my understanding.
But they don't necessarily, like, when I'm watching it from BullX, the wallets still look botted a little bit. Like, I mean, from just like my understanding as a trader coming into this game, there's certain things that I'm looking at when I'm trading the charts. If I see those wallets, then I'm like, okay, that looks kind of suspicious.
Oh, weird.
No, I mean, like, it still shows up as like a regular buy. It's just that it doesn't show like Photon. It doesn't show all the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you are essentially, when you're using that's the pros and cons, unfortunately, when it comes to these Telegram bots too. It's like when you're using them, you're kind of giving them a little bit more discretion to have a little bit more fair advantage over you. For example, like, when you're using TG, they're choosing the virtual private server that the actual bot's on. They're choosing the node. Hell, they're even choosing the way that the funds are getting, sent from here to there. I mean, you do have the option to essentially send them funds from a DEX, like Houdini swap, where it doesn't, get picked up from snipers off of us, central like Coinbase or something like that. But beyond that, once the funds are sent, it's not like you can really do too much. Now, if you export those wallets that you can generate internally into the wallets, I don't think you have the ability to do that. Let's share screens and we can go over together. Actually, I'm gonna share my screen right now for you. Let's go to screens and let's go to let's see here. Do this one. Go live. Let me know when you see my screen.
Okay, I can see it.
Okay, sweetness. All right, let me just choose this different, and we'll choose that. Okay, so what I'll do is let me go over to let me use Telegram actually. Boom, Telegram. Let me open that up on this window. 1 second. Boom, TG. Okay. All right. Let me put it on yours. There. Right there. Where we at? All right, I'm gonna stop the share and then start share it again. Share screen. We'll do Telegram and go live. Perfect. All right, let me know if you see that. So we're gonna go into deploy and we'll go to start, home, and we will do, for example, we'll create the project, create new coin, and project wallet, create wallet. So let's say we did, let's say it'll do 25 wallet or something like that. 25 wallet. Boom. So these right here that get exported out, I get the PK to all these wallets. Now, this is the issue when it comes to specifically Telegram. The Telegram, when it comes to these bots, is the once the wallets are technically generated, it's not like you can't import them in. Now, if I was able to import these wallets, I can go to import wallets here. I have to actually manually do this now. So instead of you going and trusting Vortex to generate these wallets for you, what you're going to need to do is unfortunately go into Trojan, go into Photon, go into Bullets, like literally go into them individually and then generate the wallets from those actual entities. And then...
Okay, so that's going to be the old school way then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll solve your issue when it comes to that regard. It's unfortunate because time is money, and there's these bots nowadays that are doing this like automatically. But it is what it is. Because you are essentially, if you think about it, the way you're getting away around it is you're not having to spend any investment liquidity up front to bear the bot, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, I guess, the time for money bear right there.
Okay.
Now, what I would say though is, regardless, once you actually drop the particular project, I think that you should double take a look at some of the shilling things that I've been dropping. Have you seen in the paid shilling that's in the current group right now?
Yeah, I was on the what is it? It was the Telegram one, the Soul one.
Yes. Did you see
I was checking it out the other night.
Yeah, I posted a video. I'll let me actually put it up here on the screen here. I'll share it with us. Let me go back up my screen here. We're gonna go to 101 and page shill. Okay, cool. And then let me go back into our Discord here and share this screen. So we'll go to share, stop sharing, share again. And let's do screens. This might be too big, but fuck it. I'll try to make it as big as possible. Go live. All right, so then we'll go back into my screen here. Multitasking here. And all right, back to Discord. So here we go. So basically,
hey guys,
you get a chance to see this guy.
No.
So I found this a pretty cool tool. I haven't even showed it on YouTube just because some of the things that we have, I just kind of like want to keep kind of like gated in a sense. Like all the education, I'll try to do as much as I can verbally online, but like a lot of the things that kind of leverage us, I'll try to like kind of like keep for the one-on-one students. And so what he's doing is essentially doing an example of this particular Telegram bot. Now I'll go into it and I'll give you what it is here. I know it's very small, so I'm just going to read it to you for verbatim, okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to Chart Up, Solana Volume Booster. Our AI Telegram bot booster trading volume increases the number of new holders and helps you reach trading statuses across DEXs and Telegram buy bots. Here how it works. Choose your package, select the package, achieve, and so there's different packages you can go into, from Radium to Moon to Pump Fund to Moonshot, depending on what you're trying to do. They have different prices for those different situations. I think it goes from like 3 SOL all the way up to like 60 SOL you can spend with these guys. And so it's organic trading. This is how you can benefit from it. Basically, it's a high transaction rates and volume. So it's basically, in a nutshell, they have a website too. I'll show it to you in a second. But you can like pretty much get like $50,000 to $100,000 worth of volume that they'll be able to do, and you don't have to worry about bringing your own liquidity to the you don't have to worry about having $50,000 worth of Solana basically on standby, by them providing this volume. And I'll actually give you a really good example of how this works, because I've seen it today a couple times this morning, and I'll give you a little case study example from a chart so we can dive into it and how they rate a profit after I show you this. But yeah, basically, we have attract whales, get noticed by large investors and traders who act quickly when they see a significant increase in volume. FOMO creation generates significant volume from new wallets appearing as new organic holders to effectively create FOMO and snowball effect. So ideally, what's happening here is you have, of course, your buy-in, which is your liquid that you do with your bundle. From that point on, you go right into this volume. This Solana volume booster, which essentially is bringing all these holders to the chart. You don't got to worry about. You really, at the end of the day, what you really don't got to worry about is this. They come with 50K, but they're doing it, moving it like music chairs. So when they come in and out, they're not like coming in to hold and then dump. That's a difference. Say it's like, let's say 100 wallets come in for 1 SOL maybe, right? And then they reverse. They send that 1 SOL to a dead wallet, and then they send back out to, and then it comes in another 100 SOL. It just is reverse musical chairs all around, rather than holding and then continue to hold to dump that entire profit like we're doing. Do you see the difference?
Okay.
Let me show you a case study now, so you can see it for verbatim of how this was done this morning. Actually, I'm gonna go back. Actually, you should see my entire screen now, right? Still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go to NeoBullets. You ever use NeoBullets before?
Yeah, that's what I trade from.
Oh, perfect. So let me show you a perfect example of this nonsense. This is my Okay, let's go to portfolio. Okay, and there it is. All right, perfect. So this is a perfect example of this shit. Okay, so what they did, let me go back. This is this morning. I'll give you a full rundown of the project as well, okay? Just so you can have understanding on how that works. So the
Mhm.
first thing first is I'm not sure if you've seen this recently, but recently there's been this meme that's kind of been going viral. I've been using CT trackers, crypto trader trackers. I have it actually in my Discord as well, but to kind of determine what's viral and what's not viral and every day. And there's this guy that's been kind of sending. I'm not sure the site's still available. Yeah, it is. So there's a
Oh my
guy.
god!
Have you seen this guy before? The root in this guy.
I was looking at this coin earlier.
Yeah, you were looking at the coin, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm glad we're talking about it because it's a great case study of this. Oh, so let me just make sure my oops, yeah. Let me go back to here and change this real quick. Hold on. Bam. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna walk you through on a few things today on how to get this created like really, really, really fast and simple, and then how to throw it up to the point where all you have to do is essentially grab your positions. If you're using Vortex, you can, and then you simply would use your volume generation bot to, and what you're gonna have is this exact thing because this is literally the same bot. They bought in, as you see here, no, and then basically once they bought in, the volume bot just did this. That's all it did is when it might go up, and then literally this people start buying like eating it, and then of course it was just a big dump. And so usually in order to do that and on a scale time, you gotta think this is a 2-3 hour situation too. We look at the minute candle. Look at the 30-minute candle. Actually, let's see here how long. You'll see at least about 4 or 5 wicks. That'll equate to about 2 hours of data. About 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was about, see, look at that, it was a 5. It was increased about $80,000, and then boom, a drop. So, and in a nutshell, they came in, brought their bundles in 1520, did a huge generation volume bot, which essentially accumulated a lot of different holders. Because what happens is they come here, just like you came here this morning, and you see a project like this and you say to yourself, oh, I understand the meta, I understand that there's literally a guy that's going viral for this routine, there's a retard, there's a there's all these type of sub generated metas that always are coming. Either the retarded guys, or there's the fucking what's it called, the laser eyes. There's all these sub metas that always get to come back for certain things, so they just
Mhm.
took advantage of it. And to be completely honest with you, I will show you right now how to create this thing, but I'm pretty sure that he's probably has a template already. I'm gonna show you how to create the template, but I'm pretty sure he's got a template already, so he could just swap this out for another one once he's ready. Um, just because there's not that much work that's done. You just throw up basically the header, and then you throw up some images here, and then from this stuff right here, as long as you have the images, I can show you how to easily create these things. But at the end of the day, you're essentially given something to buy, and so you see all this volume being generated, and they're just captivated by something that's already being viral in people's eyes. They just see that there's opportunity here, especially if it's at a low market cap. So but that kind of differs. That's different than the person that's going into, for example, the Vortex bot and just doing a clone, right? Because if you're just doing a clone and then your idea is just to dump at 7, 8, 9, 15,000 or whatever, maybe profit 2, 3, 4 sold. That's a little different. These guys, this is like the guys coming in, they're like wanting to know they gotta spend 4 just to make 40, or
Yeah.
gotta spend 8 to make 80.
What was the market cap that the highest?
80K. This one hit
Damn, what?
80K, so that theoretically meaning that if you would have came in at like with a bundle, let's say you came in with about $2,000-3,000, you would have hit about 10 to 15,000 market cap off rip. That means the bundles would have essentially 7 decks, so that's about, give or take, $14,000 worth of profit.
Pretty cool.
And if you take away the loss leader, that would be the specific. Maybe if, let's just say hypothetically speaking, if we look at the highest package, let's actually go into that actually real quick so we can kind of dive into it from a visual perspective. Let me open that up real quick. 1 second. Discord. Right. And there we go. Chart up. The website is Let me just open the website so I know we're on the same page. Open, and there's a lot of people that use this shit. But the thing is, like, not everybody uses it for bundling. Like, to be completely frank with you, a lot of people, what they do is some people are professional CTO devs, which they just scatter the internet looking for projects that have already been dumped, and then they just want to take the narrative over, pay the decks, and then they have a community already waiting to basically buy the floor and then send it. It's the exact same thing. If you're not, if you're, I'm not sure if you're involved with any other communities out there, but there's some communities out there that purposely will pump a project up, and then the dev will tell everyone to sell on in the TG privately, and then he'll sell the dev last. Same thing. It's just different way of doing it, right?
Okay.
But let me show you this real quick here. Let me pull this little bit out, Windows, and we're gonna go into chart up. Here we go. Sweet. So with this here, and you see this chart up right here.
Yep.
So this is going to have a couple different options. This is the same TG bot I was showing you. They have like a 24-hour, 6-hour period. I think they also have a 3 soul test too as well. But let me just go up and show you what this is all about. Because there's other, this is not the only one. Like, I have so many different other things that are behind the scenes that are literally in that same thread. But this is just one of many, right? And there's a one of many that is highly known, and you can literally see in the Telegram how many people are in there. But basically, 9 soul. Essentially, if you think to yourself, all right, cool, I'm gonna come in with a 30 soul bundle, right? Well, okay, well, let's come in with a 20 soul bundle and then 9 soul advertisement, so that way you can have something to literally have X liquidity, because you don't got to worry about RPC nodes. You don't got to worry about computer data, your VPS dedicated speeds. You don't got to worry about errors happening. All that shit literally is another particular entity, third party is doing that for you, so that way you can just focus on one thing only, is buying a position to selling it. You know what I'm saying? Bundling it and selling it. Really, that's what it comes down to. And then there are people though that use, for example, like Affinity or other type of bots that essentially they own their own liquidity, so they're running their own volume at the same time. But what you run into is a lot of different fucking mistakes. Like, one, are these wallet buys coming in on, like, for example, GMGN, or are they coming in on Photon or Bullix properly? Are they even showing them as holders? Like, you don't want to be doing a shitload of work with your own liquidity and not even really damaging the charts in a way that organically should be or doing it, so there's a lot of things happening with a lot of different wallets and a lot of different money that needs to happen really fast periods of times, where at the end of the day it's like, shit, if I can know that I'm using a volume bot to essentially give me point A to point Z, and then I know that this volume bot purpose is literally to essentially spread holders and not sell in a massive dump, then that's just what it is. Because once you dump, the charts are still going to keep their fucking position, and then they'll sell out eventually once they're not going to affect you, essentially. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff about it. I got a FAQ as well. And so just do your own research and stuff. But,
So this is just a service.
You said a server? You said, sorry, what was the last part?
Service.
This is a volume bot. So what it does is it'll be essentially kind of like a teammate to your deployer or your vortex. You would deploy, and then you would essentially use this to be able to bring in a lot of holders, so that way it looks like a viral project. You don't have to do too much advertisement. It looks like it's bullish. The only thing is the marketing has to coincide. That's why I was showing you the way the website done. Speaking of website, you want me to show you how to kind of put that together real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so here's a little quick, easy trick. You can go to the site called lovable.dev, and I also would go to this website called ChatGTP. Have you ever heard of ChatGTP, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So basically how this is going to work is one's going to be you're going to teach it to real quickly be a professional like prompt engineer for Lovable, and the other one's going to do the work. So you're going to tell this, like, for example, make yourself a professional web designer using Lovable, and any idea I give you, turn it into master piece prompts. prompts. All right, spell piece right. All right. So boom. And then he said, "You got it." All right. So now I'm gonna say, I need a website for a meme token I'm creating about. Give me an idea. We'll throw something up there real quick.
A goat.
A goat, like a goat, like that, right?
Yeah.
All right, bet. So now it's gonna go ahead and give us the prompt we need, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this prompt and we're gonna paste it into Lovable, and then Lovable is gonna do the work for us. So we don't gotta worry about being the best and most professional like prompter in the world. We literally reverse engineer that shit just real quick to do what we want, and we're gonna save a lot of time. So now we just got the prompt. There it is, copy, and we're gonna literally go back to this right here. We're gonna paste it in here, and we're gonna hit public go. And now it's gonna cook up, start to finish, a fucking website. Watch this.
Okay, if you have images too, right? Like if you create
that too, I'll show you how to do that.
Okay.
Right now, it's going to give us a template, so to speak. And that's what he was working with, was essentially a template. So as long as you have a template to work with, you can interchange these things left or right, and all you're doing is essentially tagging these along with metas that are in line. So you use a CT tracker to tag in something, to create a project that is something that is already people are talking about. And sometimes projects are already sent. Like for example, that one I showed you, it already sent to like 15 million the actual original one of the guy. So then they made the retarded version, of course, the next day later. But if people see projects that are already sent to 10, 15 million, they're gonna want to push it, especially if they see a lot of volume. They're thinking, oh shit, this is gonna go too. It's just presumptuous. It's human nature, So yeah, you align yourself with those metas, so that way you're just going to use this template that this literally robot's creating for us, like literally right in front of our eyes. We don't have to worry about hiring nobody on Fiverr or trusting or any spent liquidity outside of just either A, owning our bundles. I mean, buying the floor as much as possible, and then B, the advertisement fee, which is you could choose what type of knife you want to cut with, whether it be with, for example, the one I showed you, Chart Up, or there's Soul Vibe Station. I mean, there's a lot of different different places, shills groups to do. There's groups, there's channels, there's Coles. Regardless of what it is, there's got to be some type of advertisement pulse running, whether it be a volume coming to the contract while the marketing is literally behind it to allow people to hold. That's the key thing. You can get people buy all day long, but can they fucking hold? And it's when they go to the website, they start looking around and shit, and they start saying, "Oh, I can see this thing going crazy." You know what I'm saying? They must have spent a couple of days as a team behind this. Like, this is going to go crazy. Oh my, there's so much volume. I understand it now. I'm in, and so now let's go back to the Lovable real quick and see what's going on with this thing. It's still cooking up our website. Literally, this is happening in front of our eyes. It's literally coding one line by line everything about this goat. And because of that big ass prompt we just gave it, it literally is doing more and more coding. So as you see right now, it's just cooking. So by the time this is done, you're gonna see a full-on website, mobile responsive. It's even through, I think, a fake CA address in there. Let's see here what's happening. Spinning a preview. I'm excited to see how this looks. Here we go. Try to fix. Let's see here. That sometimes happens. If it has a little error, so just fix it real quick. It'll usually come. But the cost of this actually is like $20 a month. Like, I mean, this is technically, you can use it for free to a certain extent, but for the most part, if you want to just take advantage of everything, then it just costs like $20 a month. And yeah, you really have the advantage of just basically creating the website, previewing it. Boom, here we go. Look at that.
No way.
Yeah, wait. Look at that. Money's dropping. Look at that. I did not. Look at this shit, bro. We just created a fucking project that people are going to think now it took us a while to do, and it's going to create holders for you. It'll create holders, not only holders, but it'll create diamond hand holders, because these motherfuckers are like, oh, this site's tight. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea that fucking AI just did this shit for us. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
What the fuck?
See, this is why you got the 101 from me, brother. I'm not holding the back no fucking sauce. You know what I'm saying? Look at this shit. Contract address. And it's mobile responsive. Check this out. Boom. Yeah. You know how much back in the day people cost like $500 just for the site alone. 500, maybe $1,000, $2,000 for the site. You literally are blinking.
I'm thinking that you have to go through like actual, like, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta go through the whole step to make a website.
All you gotta do now is boom, create Twitter, which is easy. Link it, boom, upload it, public, domain, create, by the domain. That's less than, then you literally just create a whole project about a goat, and now you have literally a template. So if you want it, if you own Lovable, which is at $20 a month, you can save this motherfucker, call it template one, and then continue cooking. You could just do another project, paste that same exact prompt, and you can do like prompts on prompts on prompts on prompts, depending how you want to do it. Motherfuckers could start selling websites just for other developers if they want to do this shit, to be honest.
Could you buy it from that website maker, or do you have to go through like someone like GoDaddy?
So to get the domain, you're gonna want to go through GoDaddy or some type of like, actually you can use somebody outside of GoDaddy. You can use a decentralized like way where you just buy it through Solana, but you just have to go with Google and type in, domain registers that accept crypto, and then boom, you can basically buy the domain for like 10, $12. And then from that point on, you can essentially connect it through Lovable, and then boom, it'll literally, Lovable is the host. So all you have to do is publish it to the domain. Now, currently, I could publish this right now, and it could come into like it won't be custom. It'll be like .app. It'll be like whatever I call it, .app. So it could be at least live outside. It'll be called Ghostastic Meme Landing Lovable.app. That's what they're called. But yeah, I can create a custom domain by essentially by that. But yeah, as you saw right there, like literally this shit just took no time whatsoever. And look at this, day 1, day 2, it's all like literally a fucking LARP, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you as a user, you had no idea that this could be possible until I broke it down to you. So you coming into this, and if the meta is literally behind it as far as like something that's happening that's relevant, not just goat, like it could be like this guy. I just showed you the website, but just to create the avatars, like that's like a whole other thing I could show you. We could do another class at some point, but like literally I could do the same thing with that I do with the website. So you just cook that up real quick, and then if you know how to do the generations, which I could show you real quick, I can just do that real quick. Fuck it, I'll do it real quick. You got the time?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. So there's this site called Kriya. Kriya you can use, and Kriya is where you can, for example, I'll type in generate image, and if I want to, I can go into here and let's say I'll do a new session. I'll say create a image of a goat in a pool of water with limes surrounding him, something like that, as a cartoon or something like that. All right, and I'll just delete this reference and I'll hit generate. So boom, this happens, right? I get myself, I create a meme, but if I wanted to actually animate it, I can go in here and I click on video. And from the video, this is integrated with every single fucking AI you could think of, like Xiaoyan, Wan, Wipika, everything's in one fucking spot for you. You know what I'm saying? So literally, I could just go to VO2 because they're the shit right now. I think it's Google's fucking beast, and I can just literally just cook. And so then now it's going to cook up literally what you're seeing in these other memes, like the ones that you're seeing right there, where the guy's just dipping, like they're just telling a specific image what to do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so at that point, you have to just wait for it to cook. It does take between 2 minutes or so, but again, it's basically Kriya is like $10-$30 too, so you're spending a total investment of $50 recurringly so far from Kriya and Lovable put together, which is going to make you thousands is nothing. So you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this is part of the cooking process that people are not really showing. But let me go and show you this. Let me go back to the other screen so the viewers can see this. Cancel Windows and boom. Okay, so yeah, now I got myself actual video, right? There's a video here, and there's this guy, there's a goat, he's like, there's a fucking flowers fucking around and shit. You know what I'm saying? So there's animation here, and so I can easily download this. I can even add sound to it if I wanted to, and then boom, save it as an asset, and then bring it onto the site. But literally, it's a part of cooking that could literally take. If you do it this fast enough, you could do a whole project in less than an hour, and then launch it with the volume bot attached to it, knowing that people will now have an understanding of not just buying it, because now they're not just buying it, they're buying and holding it because the charts continue to go up because of this volume bot's tricking their mind to think that the project is actually worth something, but in reality, they're just literally waiting and kind of inspecting the actual website itself to make sure they want to hold. And so while that's happening, it's just the charts are going rising and rising because they're actually becoming temporary diamond hand holders to the point where you can just go ahead and take advantage of that entire situation. Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. Oh shit.
Hopefully that was enough for you, brother. I wanted to make sure you got your money's worth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is Kriya. And alongside that, you have Lovable and you have ChatGTP. And all three of these together can basically create yourself a memeable site like this. Matter of fact, if you know certain keywords, you can do things. So, for example, what you're seeing right here is literally the ticker moving on a marquee. So if you don't have these keywords in your head and down, it won't be easy for you to even convert into code. But like, for example, I could go back to Lovable and .dev, and I could tell it to take the ticker and make it a marquee left to screen right. I could tell it, I want you to take the words, for example, ticker goat, right? And then I want you to, from left to right of the screen, marquee it. You know, that means it's just going to slowly move it to left or right. If you don't know that word, then you wouldn't have an idea of how to do it. So people are doing this fast, but they have to understand the certain type of verbiage so that way you can have it do its thing faster than you can, think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But beyond that, yeah, but you can literally cook up this way, and ideally, your whole output really is a couple things. Once you have this at your discretion, then at that point, what you can essentially do is go back into the Discord, which is where you're gonna find basically a plethora of CT trackers and and information such as like the volume. You want to kind of pay attention to, example, where the volume's at for the day. Like, okay, shit, like where I want to launch. I got my project ready. I got my website ready. Everything's ready to rock and roll. It's not cloned. Literally, these things are ape on top of being ape. I got a volume pop behind the scenes that they're gonna fucking raise like hell on the charts. Now what? All right, well, let me see when time should I launch. So you look at the daily volume, look at the hourly volume. If the daily volume's looking like everything's like negative down, you're like, why might I launch right now? But right now, for example, as of 2:00 today, it says there's actually 36.44% up in trades, and the buy volume is actually up 70%. So this is a wonderful time to buy, right, to drop the project right now. But if you saw negative 100, negative like it was like yesterday, you know what I'm saying, then you're like, I'm gonna save this project. But sometimes, unfortunately, when you have a project that is like meta driven, specifically when it comes to specific things that are happening, as long as we all know, they might be hot one day but not hot the next. So you just gotta be aware of that.
Oh god.
Yeah. Hopefully that's a whole rundown, because at the end of the day, your vortex is one thing, but not a lot of people really break down the essence of really how to make some quality money out of it. I mean, we did go over like some of the protocols of what you're doing wrong when it comes to specifically the wallets and seizing things. Unfortunately, we have to do the manual things to kind of get things running. But if you're not looking to 8, 7, 9x, then don't even think about all the stuff that we just talked about too. It's a matter of just getting those wallets in season and killing these snipers off at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x profit. I mean, not 5x, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soul profit. But if it's outside of that, then hey, this is where we bring the noise.
Yeah, okay. Right now I'm just working with small port, that's why.
Okay, yeah, and I've seen guys, honestly, I'm dead. I've seen these kids cook up a 3-4 soul with a website with everything I just told you, and it go to fucking 150K. So time sometimes really will help a lot, and sometimes people rather cook launch just to get up to maybe 25. Either way, it's up to you, but I prefer less than more rather than more than less.
Okay. I wanted to ask about like when I'm launching with the bundles, right? Would it be better to just dev sell and then wait for more people to kind of pick up, like hopefully?
Dev sell?
And then
Yeah. Yeah, you know, if in case you drop the project, the dev cell would be probably advantageous. The thing about it is you do have to take a look at the trend, what's it called? Trench radar. Are you familiar with trench radar?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would definitely take a look at trench radar to make sure that it's at least saying that the bundles are out, because a lot of people are basically determining their buy and sell off of that, and if you can basically kind of get around that to the point where it looks like your bundles are out, but in reality you're in, then you're always going to win in that regard.
That's the part I'm kind of confused with right now. Is like when I'm using the Vortex, am I supposed to do the dev plus snipe?
So what's it at?
For when I'm using the Telegram bot on Vortex, they have the option where it's like, you know, creator buy, or it's like creator buy with bundle.
Right. So creator buyer will be essentially where you basically going to buy into the contract and immediately you're going to snipe your token. Whereas the other one is where you're more of a CTO, Sisterwood Dev, where it necessarily doesn't even have to be your plot project. You can basically snipe into anybody else's project, just any other CA. I think that really when it comes down to it, those CTOs are the ones that are coming off the radar more so, because those first 15, 20 buys really do show as bundles if they come in especially strong. It might be advantageous for you to come in with a bundle, drop it on snipers, and then come back in with Vortex already maybe on a second TG account with a real bundle, like just a small short, just because that's a lot of times how what's it called, the trench radar is picking up things is just the first literally 15 20 seconds of trading. So if you literally can mitigate from that and just kill the snipers off in the beginning, because you don't have the option to basically do what a lot of other bundlers are doing, which is basically buy in with the dev and then on demand buy in. It's coming in right off the drop, you know.
Yeah.
So there's little pros and cons of what you're working with, but you know, it's advantages.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm. This is like my first week into this whole dev side.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, bro, you're kind of like the fucking Oracle.
For real?
Fucking shit. No, because like you're showing us as traders like how we're getting fucked pretty much.
Yeah. Like, yeah,
You know what I mean?
man. Yeah, we just made some dollar signs drop out of the sky without having any type of programming knowledge whatsoever. Motherfuckers gonna ape in this shit easily, thinking this shit is real. You know, like it is, you cannot tell no more. You know, at all. I mean, if you know what you're doing, and that's the thing. Most of the times, these guys are not spending. I mean, that's the advantage I guess you have as a trader. That's what you should look at it. It really is. Honestly, most of the guys are not doing the stuff that I'm doing. The ones that are the ones that are printing. But the most of you guys are just coming in, no type of marketing efforts whatsoever, cloning type of projects they're not even doing any analytics on, and just dropping something and hoping for the best. This is a little different of a game because you're pushing the walk down a mountain.
Okay, well, how do you compare this to 29 though?
29 is a LARP. So what he does specifically is bring attention to his project through different type of role play situations. So for example, one of the role play situations that he's done is where he's actually taken a homeless person, for example, or a person like, for example, a Uber driver. Now he's explained off the record that he literally has said off the record to them, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kidnap you. I'll have a gun. You know, it's my gun. It was all a fake play. I'm gonna steal your car. You're gonna be like, hey, no, where's my fucking car? I'm calling the cop." You know, he literally is LARPing this out before it goes live. Then he goes live. Lights, camera, action. You know what I'm saying? People are believing into this heist, but obviously this type of method doesn't work all the time because it gets to the point where people get tired of it. And then also, of course, Twitter doesn't like LARP, so they'll ban your account. Like, he got his account banned a few times, so you know, it is what it is. But it's not going to be a consistent way to have recurring money, but you can make a lot like him, like millions of dollars, because he brings a lot of volume and attention, real organic volume and attention, without having to bring the buy bots. But then it requires you to basically it only required him to essentially leave his computer in the 3.0 world, jump into the streets, in the 2.0 world and literally make it happen. That's literally what requires that. And most people don't want to do that. They're lazy. They're like, I don't want to find a homeless person. I don't want to fucking LARP with a fucking Uber driver. I want to stay home and figure this shit out, you know?
I mean, but like all of this, you're just LARPing pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, this is how it all goes down. And so basically, having this chart, having this here, you can have essentially, you know, these templates. What I'm going to start doing for my community is basically just building these templates, so that way if anybody wants to use them, I can literally just, they can open a ticket, I could just exchange the CA, because what happens in the community is some people are using this tool called Penguin, which allows them to get the CA address prior to actually deploying. And I wish that Vortex had that, but unfortunately they don't. So you're not able to get this information put onto a website and market and brand it before you actually even do the volume, which is very helpful in a way, because you can kind of have things on the back burner before they even start.
So basically, all this pre-production stuff is just to make the LARP seem as real as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, what there's nothing. I mean, this is the thing. I feel like, to be completely frank with you, you'll be doing people just service, not providing something like this, because at the end of the day, everybody knows it's a meme token. There's not any real valuable here, so they just essentially need someone to come in after them. So if you can provide basically a system where it looks bullish enough for them to provide at least some type of extra liquidity for them, whether they got out or not, it's up to them. That was a skill issue, but because you provided this ecosystem now that has a narrative, that's really what people run to. There's nothing else. This is Solana. It's not a utility coin. You know, like, what else are you thinking is there?
Yeah.
So really, at the end of the day, I don't even consider like this particular thing is really helping them out more than anything, rather than just jumping to something that is completely LARP, no website, and barely no TG, maybe not even an X, you know. At least you're at least gathering the troops together to have somewhat of a CTO if need be. And the people that are fair devs, like that guy, even though he dumped on the project, he kept that website up. So it allowed people to essentially do a CTO if they wanted to. People understand what they got themselves into.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the people that are fucking LARPs are the ones that are like, they hate them because you can't CTO that shit. They'll remove the fucking website. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, now I gotta fucking come up and cook the whole other situation, rebuy decks and do everything. Come on now. You already got my money. Like, at least you could have left some crumbs on the table for me, you know?
Yeah, okay.
And that's what it comes down to. Yes, sir.
This world moves, just this developer side is like moves quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. In the last 2-3 years, it's even moving quicker. And actually, to be completely frank with you, we're in the space and age where now it's going to be what's it called? B&B. B&B's coming around the corner. Everyone's asking about B&B bundlers, and because it's the new Wild Wild West. So I'm about to start teaching that world too. So here we go.
Would you suggest like looking at B&B already?
Definitely have multiple guns at your side. You can never go wrong diversifying. Diversifying definitely is key, whether you're an investor or a dev, for sure.
I like that.
Bada bing, bada boom.
All right, brother. Well, yeah, I got mine. Good.
Pleasure. Yeah, I'm gonna send this over to you too. If you have any questions, reach out to me, my DM or Discord. And yeah, the great thing about having 1,500 devs is people can always, you know, interact with each other in the grad chat, and yeah, man. And I'd love to help you out some more than I can, man. I just want to see everybody cook. It helps me cook when people are also cooking my community. So.
Oh fuck.
Oh, for sure. Cool, brother. Well, I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for your time, brother. And did you have any questions? Any other questions for me, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm good for now.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
My pleasure, brother. I'll talk to you soon. You have a wonderful, blessed day, okay?
You too.
All right, bye now.